Hey, everybody, this is Patrick Lee, Amarillo's favorite real estate agent. I'm sitting in the studio today with a good friend of mine from California, Steve McCarthy. How are you doing today, Steve?
What's up? I'm happy to be here. That intro was hot.
You
I
like
love it.
that?
Yeah, that was good.
You know the guys that created that for me. Did it look familiar?
Yes, sir, it did. Yep.
Those guys are great, aren't they?
Yep. Nick Krim.
Nick Krim Content, Nick and Michael at Content Cards with a Z. I love it.
Those guys are awesome.
Aren't they great? Hey, man, I just wanted to jump on here. I'm so glad you joined me today to do this video. It's titled Why eXp, right? I came from another big box brokerage, and I wanted to get you on here and talk a little bit about your journey. And as we discuss our journeys in making the move to eXp, some of the challenges that we were facing, and maybe some of the things that we utilized on the way to make things easier for us that we can help other people as well, right? So I'm so thankful you agreed to jump on here and do this with me. For those of you that don't know, Steve and his wife, eXp agents out in California, a little bit of a different market than we have here, and we'll touch on a little bit of that here in a little bit, and show the difference in dollar wise about the difference in their market and ours. But wanted to start off kind of at the beginning. If you would just give people a little bit of an idea of who you are, where you came from, and how you got started in real estate.
Yeah, I'd love to. And thanks for having me on. It's always nice talking to the rock stars here at eXp. Kelly and I, separate before we got married, both of us were really into trying our feet in real estate investing. So we thought at the time, I'll tell you later if that's true or not, but we thought if we got a real estate license, we'd see all the deals first, money would come raining down on us. So when we met, we found out we're both in school, and we wrapped up our school. We both worked at the post office. We're both mail carriers. So I've got a degree in dog fighting. I'm very good at it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we started that. What we found out, even though we started on the investor path and we acquired properties and stuff, we did some fix and flips and things like that. What we loved about real estate was the helping the people. Taking a family that was looking to find a house, and we worked with buyers up front, and the excitement and seeing the new homes. And it was really fun for us to hand off keys to a family, knowing that their future, their future is going to be better. And we got really good at it. We didn't get good at first at the big box brokerage. And I'll tell you, we started out some of the people in town know. So I'll just tell you, we started out at Coldwell. Is there something wrong with Coldwell? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Great brokerage.
The people were phenomenal. And I'll tell you, the difference that helped us grow, as we talk here today. But I started off there, largely felt like I was on my own, trying to learn how to generate business and stuff at a high level, at least, So we started following this crazy dude in Texas named Jay Kinder. Yeah. And
yep.
Jay had packaged everything we needed to know and lined it all out. And so we were able to guide our business off of the back of a giant that had already figured all the things out, done the things wrong so that I didn't have to. So, and look at me, man, I'm a chatterbox. So I think I already lost your question. I apologize, but that was kind of our journey together. There was just me and Kelly. We brought our brother-in-law on. He worked for the post office. I promise not everybody at eXp works for the post office, but he did. And we brought him on because we loved him and we wanted to see him do well. We had
absolutely, yeah.
So he came out the box and just crushed it. He's one of the best agents in our town. The truth is I'm the better looking out of the two of us, but
of course,
but he's a great agent. Yep.
I have two brothers, and both of them are bald, and they know it. It's not like it's a secret, right? So I've got all this hair. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just went to the barber this week, and I feel like I still need to get it under control. So I got the hair, and they got the handsomeness, I guess. I don't know. Yep. So I know how that goes for sure. So what part of California are you in?
Yeah, I'll tell you the name of it. Anyone in your area probably has never heard of it. So I'll start off by saying we're north of Sacramento, about 30 minutes. We're in a small town of Yuba City. It's a wonderful place. It's largely an agricultural community, a lot of orchard. It's where you get your peaches and your almonds and rice. We produce a lot of rice, things like that. Yep.
A lot of people don't know that. I have a lot of friends in the Sacramento area, people out here from California. I hadn't shared with you yet. I'm from the Southern Oregon coast. I'm very familiar with Yuba City and have driven through there many times when I was younger, not lately. And I'm fixing my family still lives in Oregon, out in Bend, in another small town. I'm fixing to head out there and see my little brother and mom next week.
Catching some crabs.
Catching some Dungeness crabs down at the top.
Yep. That's right. It's a neat little place.
It sure is. Great little town. And my aunt, Virginia Weaver, is still an active agent in that town. I think she's 84. And she was a Century 21 agent. Now she's with a little indie brokerage there and still practicing real estate. One of my motivators when I was a young man at getting into real estate. So let's talk about a little bit about growing up. If you could go back in time, here's the tough question. If you could go back in time and tell yourself one thing about being a new agent, what would it be?
Easy one. The thing that I see in agents that come onto the team or start their journey in real estate, and the thing that I did wrong in the beginning is I thought, let's get it all perfect. Let's master scripts before you pick up the phone. Let's learn what to say to people before I say something to people. Let's go preview houses without a client before I take a client to it. That's wrong. Do it.
Yes.
Just do it, pick it up, do it, start it. It's okay to do it wrong. In doing it wrong over and over again, you're going to learn what works and what doesn't. And if you're taking massive action towards where you want to go as an agent, you'll achieve it. But if you wait, get ready over and over again, you're just going to fall further and further behind. And if you're not growing, you're dying.
Wow. I love that. That's so true. I started immediately when I got in the business 8 years ago. I was at Keller Williams, was recruited over there by a good friend, and joined a team immediately. So I was never an independent agent. I was always on a team. And within about 3 or 4 months, however, I, of course, started working with buyers kind of like you. And it was easier because when you're newly licensed, you know just one or two things more than the average first-time home buyer, right?
That's right.
So you're the authority in the room when the two of you are together. And that's how you learn. You cut your chops. Doing that, working with first-time home buyers especially. But the thing that I did learn right away is you can't just spend your time getting ready to get ready. You have got to jump in with both feet. We just call it do a belly buster in the deep end of the pool. And,
that's it.
Sink or swim. And you will learn if you collaborate with the right people and coach and mentor with the right people, you'll learn what works and doesn't. That's a great answer, Steve. I know a lot of people listening will appreciate that. Tell me a little bit about your business model. Are you a solo agent? Are you a team? Do you have a brokerage? I mean, we're a cloud brokerage, but how do you kind of run your business out there?
Sure. So we are a cloud brokerage, and the amount of money that I'm able to retain because of the model allows me to fund some things that I couldn't do before. So even though we're a cloud-based brokerage, I find it an advantage to have office space. So I have 2 offices. And those offices are, while they're not a necessity for selling real estate, in fact, my office has quite a few offices, a big workspace for, open space, but there is literally admin here and just myself right now. Everyone else is out where they're supposed to be doing business. But I run a team with my wife and I, both agents, we run a team of 17 agents. Kelly is the boss because she's the smart one. That's what I'm good at.
You got the looks. You got the brains. Don't say that out loud. I've seen her. She got both.
She does, and this is something that is good for everybody on here. If you're single, set your sights high, shop out of your element zone. And when you ask them to marry them, put them on a tropical island where there's nowhere for them to run. That's exactly what I did. Yep. And I was able to marry up. Yep. St. Thomas.
There you go. I love it. She couldn't get away, right?
She wanted to ride home. It's a long swim. She was
It's a long swim.
She had to go through with it.
You're going to have to learn to love me, baby. Oh, I love that.
He's learning.
Oh my gosh. When you got started in this business, what was the most difficult part of that? Was there a difficult part of your business, the way you used to run it before you came to eXp?
There was. So, and I think there's breaking points for all of our businesses. There's places where we're going to hit walls, and we've hit them all. It doesn't matter eXp or wherever. Mm-hmm. The hard part that I had going back to the original days is the agent I wanted to be didn't exist in my office, not even in my town, really. We're looking at people that are hitting 500 transactions, 1,000, right. And our examples weren't there. So the people in-house that I had to learn from weren't where I wanted to go, which, I can't teach somebody how to sell 1,000 homes because I haven't been there myself.
Right, exactly.
So, my biggest struggle then was to find somebody to model. So I was getting advice like, do floor time.
Yeah.
That's great. That made me like a glorified secretary that passes the phone off to the agents that were out doing the business. I was learning nothing. Like I said before, you get out there and you do, and then you're going to gain the experience. So what eXp's done differently is, like it or not, you're going to learn from the highest producers because they're in your face begging you to sell more houses. They want me to win so bad because it affects their bottom line. Now we're all financially aligned together. So like it or not, they are going to put a faster, better, easier way in front of me to do it, whether it be through Expert Mentors Live, 60 hours of online training, the events that are putting on. They are the highest level trainings that I've ever seen. And I can literally pick up the phone and call any giant in our company and say, I'm struggling. Can you? And they'll get back to me and they'll tell me exactly what they've done to take the rock out of my shoe. I've never had that anywhere else. Inside my own big box brokerage office were my competitors, like it or not. We loved each other. We're friends. We're still friends today. But Absolutely. If they taught me their biggest secret, it would take out of their pool. Well, yeah.
That makes perfect sense. You're right. And a lot of people, I think, don't get that because they haven't been where you and I have been yet. Mm-hmm. So that brings me to my next question. At any point, did you feel stuck in your business before you came over? What was sort of that breaking point? You're stuck. I can't move. I need to think a new thought. I just call it pivot. Sometimes you like Ross and Chandler on Friends trying to get that couch down the stairwell. Pivot. You got to turn, man. If you don't make a move, you're going to stay here. What was your sticking point?
Yeah, so my sticking point, and there's been several of them, but the main one that allowed eXp to be the solution for me, and this will resonate with some people and some people won't be important to, but I was in a brokerage. I had an extremely low cap, lower than eXp's, but I didn't have any tools or tech, all that stuff I was buying for outside of it. So the place where I was stuck was I was spending my money, my time, and my efforts to build someone else's brand. Well, eXp allowed me to transition over, and eXp encourages me to build my brand under the eXp platform. Do I still have broker support and training and all that stuff? Yes, I do, but they want me to build my name because ultimately the consumer isn't working with, big box brokerage A, B, or C. Right. They're working with the agent. They trust us. We're the ones that have the relationship with them, and they're putting up their financial livelihood in our hands. And it's our responsibility to take care of that for them. eXp allowed me to build my own business on their platform.
I love that. That's such an important answer. A lot of people get into the business and don't realize when they get in and they think they're going to pay for a license, join the association. They're going to go join this brokerage, and the brokerage just gives them people to do business with. And it doesn't work that way. Sadly, it's a huge misconception about the real estate business. I'm going to go get my license. Apparently, everyone just walks around and opens doors for people, and your brokerage gives you all your clients. So I'm going to go be wildly successful doing what I want to do. And then you get to the big box brokerage and realize that the open door policy is not an open door. No one opens their door to you half the time, including your broker, because they're so busy with other people. the people that are the big producers in that big box brokerage are the ones that get the big time attention from the broker and only. So then you realize you need to start spending money to work your sphere for advertising and marketing. And if it's a business, and it's not an easy thing, and it is, if you don't treat it like a business, you'll go out of business. So
you better treat it like a business. That's a fact.
You better treat it like a business. I'm so glad you're on here sharing these things. These are the things that people really need to know. It's easy to get stuck. And even when you're successful, you find new places to get stuck at.
That's
so
it.
At about that time, you just decided, what was sort of the deciding factor? How did you find eXp and decide to make the move?
Yeah, a good friend of mine and my very first real estate coach is Albie Stasic. You know Albie probably really well. Albie at that time had a successful brokerage. It's still running in Cleveland,
Ohio.
Cleveland. Yep. And he put brokered by eXp on his thing, and that did not compute. I picked up the phone. I called Albie. And I said, hey, this doesn't make sense to me. Why would you make 100% of your commissions and then shut your doors down at eXp and pay a cap and pay fees and pay all these things? And you know the answer to that now. And yes, I really know the answer to that too. But it didn't make sense. So I pulled over on the side of the road and I talked to Albie for an hour and a half while I literally interrogated him. And I learned about the opportunity. And from then it was a transition out of my brokerage and into eXp. There's no way once you see this that you can't unsee it. But it was that my belief led that 100% of your commission was truly 100% of your commission, not realizing the liability you take on, the fees of an office, copier, print, all the things that come with that. And that the fact that it's no longer acceptable to only make 100%.
Right.
I'm not even close to making 100% now. eXp made me a millionaire through the stock program alone. So once you add, revenue share and all those other things, like eXp is literally.
We can't tell all of that to people in public, can we?
Oh yeah, I probably can't. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, I'm sorry. The problem is, it feels like me and you are talking.
Yes, it does. I love it.
And so I forget.
It's true, and I'm just kidding.
You're right. I'm not supposed to say that stuff.
We don't lead with stock.
I didn't care about it.
Yeah, but we care about it, right? Market, revenue share isn't the main thing, but it is a thing. It's a huge thing. I'm fixing to get my largest revenue check of all time. This coming, I've already seen how much it's going to be, and I swallowed 3 or 4 times and went, thank you, Jesus. So revenue share, we don't lead with revenue share, but it is another stream of income, right? We don't lead with the stock purchase program and growth at eXp being publicly traded, but majority owned by the agents at eXp. And yes, it's made me a very, very, very happy man over the last 6 months to a year. I joined in 2017. Stock was trading about $5.77 a share. And I've been purchasing stock since day one. 5% of every transaction goes into the stock purchase program. I just cashed in 2 months ago a very, very small portion of my stock when it was at its highest, right as it was fixing to split, and went and paid cash for a rent house. So, I mean, that's money that I would not have had, right? So
yeah. So you took a small portion of your stock, and I love these stories, man. This is a game changer. Now, first off, like, none of us come for revenue share or stock. I didn't even understand stock. I didn't care. Yeah. I came to be tied to the people that are winning in real estate at a very high level. Yeah. That meant the world to me. It still does, and that's the most valuable thing, is the being able to prove myself around giants. But you took some of that money, you bought a rental.
Yes.
And that's flowing you income for your family now. And you're building an asset and equity. For what? For selling houses like you always did. And I'm hearing people say, like I sold a piece, my brother-in-law, he sold a piece. He bought, he had an arena built. He had all his fencing put up and stuff for his daughter's horse and everything, like just a small little chunk. And then that's the kind of opportunity that we have. I've heard people, I bought a plane. I was with Glenn the other day at Sanford, and he showed me a picture on his phone. I just got this message. Dude bought himself a plane. I'm like, that is awesome. I want a plane.
Well, I want a plane. And I want a plane and a pilot. I need a pilot too.
There you go.
So they can fly me. That's all good. And the thing that I love about this opportunity is that these things are all possible. And at my big box brokerage, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get you on here, you know, you have to work for everything that you get. You have to compete with all the agents in your office, including competing for your broker's time and opportunity. You have to go out and create that. And I was sort of the same way. I had a pretty good deal at the previous brokerage at Keller Williams. I had a pretty good split. And then we were introduced to Jay and Michael and Albie through my friend Nikki. And it was just like you said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you're like, well, if a portion of what they're telling me is true, this is a good deal.
Yep.
Well worth it for me to make the switch just to see if it's true. You know what I mean? I'm like, this sounds good. Can we just go now? You know, can we just make the switch now? And then lo and behold, you just put your head down and start doing business. You build your business just like you would have before, but then you start seeing the results of that be compounded, and you're like moving quantum leaps ahead in different streams of income. And the more money that you keep is so much more important than how much we were previously paying by being here. So that it just blows my mind. And the funny story I'll add to this, I don't know if you knew this, a few months ago, we found out nearly a year ago that they were changing where our stock was being held, where it was trading through. And I assumed at that time, because I just got a letter, we're the new stock company and your stock's going to be bought and sold through us now. And I'm like, great. I assumed that everything transferred from the previous stock company. And it wasn't until about 4 months ago, another good friend, Beth Jones, called me and she said, hey, did you hear about the old stock company? And I said, no, what are you talking about? She goes, well, all of our previous stock is still there, and we have all of this other new stock at the new company. So I had literally, I can share this number, I literally had $33,000 sitting in an account I didn't even know I had anymore.
So I got to share some too, because this is super fun. Okay. So Beth Jones, how you doing when you see this? We're actually talking with Beth about some other business on this in a different direction.
Right.
But I have an agent with me, Sheena, rock star in Nevada. And I called her and I said, hey, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go check your Broadridge. She found $40-some odd thousand. And now I advised her to do that, but Kelly and I just looked and found out eXp had actually put some in Kelly's name that we didn't even know about, and we found $22,000. So it's like little treasures that we're finding all over the place. Who loses 22 grand or 33 grand?
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, man.
It's so just amazing. So final, these are awesome stories. I love it. Final question. This one's going to be the kicker here. What kind of coaching or training are you receiving at eXp, and is that making it easier to run your business compared to where you were before?
Oh, yeah. So Kelly and I used to purchase KV Core outside of eXp. It's an amazing database and system. But now that we have that, we have people that have mastered it, and they're offering trainings on it. So we get to learn the systems better. And then we have eXp. And this isn't all across eXp, but you and I are connected to eXp Mentors Live. Right. Pay attention to that stuff. Like that's free for you. And that's literally an expert in something saying, you know, I did 120 million and my main strategy is postcards. This is how I do it. Or, you know, this is how I do this piece of my business. They are begging us. They're begging us to say, use what I learned, you know, and that like to learn from somebody at those levels. Hey, Beth. Is just incredible. I've never had anything like that. I've never been able to call Jay Kinder. Jay Kinder has a calendar made for us to get out there and say, you know, tell me what the problem is. How can I help you grow faster? It's amazing. I go into eXp world, and just because I didn't feel like putting pants on today doesn't mean I have to miss out on a training. Like I can have 60 hours a week of training. I am overtrained. Like my head's exploding with different tactics and strategies.
Sure. It's never ending. When you get into eXp world and just look at the calendar of what's available, I could spend so much time learning. And here's the difference, I think, in you and I and a lot of other agents. It's wonderful for us to know that if we are stuck, we can go find the training to get unstuck, right?
Yep.
We also know that we can't spend all of our time in eXp world as an avatar learning, attending seminars and trainings and teachings and coachings, but we know we can. And the new agent can, and it's going to free up more of our time to go out and be the rainmaker, be the leader, be active in our market. And all of that is there even to support our own agents, because we can lead them, guide them, teach them, and mentor them as we learn from those above us. But we can also let the system take care of a lot of that for us, because we know they're in better hands than ours. People walk the path that know the technology, and it's amazing. So I'm super, super excited that you came on with me today, man. I just want to tell you, you keep rocking it out there in California. Tell us a little bit. You were telling me a little story before we got on here about the market. And the markets, most people that are listening to this are probably in a tight market. I'm in Amarillo, Texas. You're in Yuba City, California. We're a city of about 200,000, and where we would normally have about 2,500 to 3,000 homes on the market, we have about 350 to 400. So we just listed a house this weekend. We had 20 showings in a day, 5 offers, all over asking, went under contract, and that's normal here now. What's the market kind of like out there where you're at?
We're in the same boat. We got no inventory at all. It is a battle, for your clients. When you got, we all love our military. I know you do. I do too.
Absolutely.
You get a VA buyer, and there's a misconception that VAs are going to be hard appraisals. They're going to have to clear pest reports and stuff like that. When a seller can look at 10, 15, 20, 30 offers, a lot of them are told and advised to exclude those. Like we don't want to have to deal with that. You don't have to do repairs, Mr. Seller, and stuff like that. So it's forced us to really sharpen our skills and say, we live next to a base. I didn't tell you that, but we have a really big base, really important base. And we have these young families and single people that are in the military that need a home. They've been ripped out of wherever they are. They're stationed here, and we got to find a way to help them. We're able to get some of those offers accepted by telling the story. What a lot of people don't realize is with the VA, they could go out and make the mistake of buying a car, and they're probably still going to qualify. Where our regular conventional buyer decides to go buy a house full of furniture and finance it all at the last minute. That deal's dead now because they don't qualify. The DTI is too high or whatever. So the things that are important right now as a listing agent and as one, with buyers that we're trying to help is, don't be afraid to pick up the phone, call the agent, and beg. I'll beg. What can I do for you? What can I do for yourself? They need time in the house for a month, 2 months after they close. You got it. They want, we're going to pay X over appraisal. You got it. We're really trying to find out, what does that seller really want beyond the dollar amount? And what can we do to make it easier for them? And when you have a communication with an agent, and you're assuring them that you're going to hold up your end of the deal and you're going to do the work for them, and the minute they accept your offer, you're not going to turn into a jerk. We've all seen it, right?
We've seen it.
Yeah. So let them know that, from start to finish, my job is to make your job easy, because I consider it a personal favor that you've helped my buyers get this house. And I'm going to treat that transaction from start to end and beyond just that way. Then people start to realize that, hey, they get the position and they're in, and they're fighting for their buyers, and their buyers are on board, and their buyers have been told what the situation is and got on board, and then really go to battle for your buyers. That's our job. It's Absolutely. Not just writing an offer. An offer is this small little piece of what we have to do is make sure that they're protected. But our job is to find them the house, and if you can't find the house on the market and the area they're looking on, pick up the dang phone. Call them, tell them the story. Tell sellers, hey, 123 Main Street was on the market. We wrote an offer for it. We competed against 20 people. We lost. My military buyer, he's strong. He really wants to live in this neighborhood. Who do you know that's thinking about selling their house in the next 6 months? And please help me. Help me find some way to get this military family a house. They deserve it.
Absolutely. Man, that is so good. And we learned that from being collaborative. That's what the final thing I wanted to touch on here is we call it One Big Fire, the particular group that we're associated with at eXp, right? One Big Fire, Honey Badger Nation. So it's incredible. We have the ability to collaborate. And I've said this before, eXp is disruptive. We claim that we're a disruptive business model, but we're not only disruptive for the sake of being disruptive. Some of us just like being disruptive. That's okay. That's our but we're collaborative, and we're not only collaborative. We're not competitive. We're collaborative, and we're transformative. So when you get together with top minds and big thinkers that have been the tops of the top at all of the major brokerages in America and some other countries, some of the people that like Chuck Fazio that came over, the largest indie brokerage in America, took his brokerage and brought it under the umbrella of eXp. When the CEO of your company is a guest speaker, a keynote speaker at 10X, and then Grant Cardone joins eXp and brings his whole model. When the 10X rule, baby, that's it. Some of the biggest names from California to New York, from TV stars to motivational speakers and people all join the fire. These are the kind of conversations we have. You know what I mean? These are the kind of conversations we have. And you can have these conversations too. You need to take your little lighter and join it to the giant bonfire of eXp. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And you get to chat and talk with people like me and Steve and Jay Kinder and Michael Reese and Albie Stasic and Woods Davis and everyone who's in anyone in real estate now basically is at eXp or will eventually be at eXp.
Every name you just mentioned has literally changed my business. Every one of those people, as you rattle off those names, I was thinking about the different things that they have added to our arsenal and the love and support we've gotten from every one of those people. Big shout out to the Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Woods, Albie that built this for us. It's not a surprise that eXp is the fastest growing brokerage in the world. Like there's no way you could see what's going on here and feel comfortable not taking advantage of it for your family. Like this is an amazing opportunity. I wish everybody got it today. Hopefully they will slowly, see what we have here. And when I came, I thought, if eXp isn't what I thought it was, what's going to happen? I go back.
I'll go back.
They'll be back in a minute.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Everything to gain. Steve, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Good seeing you.
Tell her I can't wait to meet her in person. And hopefully we'll be able to do that maybe later this year at one of our major events that we can actually have live this year. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, it's been fun. I just left one in Arizona, and Chuck Fazio and Angela were there. They brought their team, and it's awesome to see people getting back together and learning again together. We got Cabo coming up. What you call it? St. Thomas. We got some trips in the works.
Got some fun stuff coming up. The big one is in September. Can't wait. That's St. Thomas in September, right?
You gonna be there?
That's in the plans right now. I've got to get I have to get someone like you to give me the hookup to get in,
Yeah. All right. You got it.
I'm just an icon. I'm not like a mega icon. Come on. It's all.
Oh, you're killing it out there, man.
I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. I'm going to be there. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to come hang out on the beach with all y'all. And so we're going to tune out, everybody. This has been Patrick Lee, Steve McCarthy, eXp. Man, y'all be blessed. Go out and kill it today. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.